They're talking about the NFL from a different perspective. Game recaps, stats, big plays, predictions, and much more. You're listening to the B&E podcast with Ed Donaldson and Brandon Simpson.
First time in years, y'all, we won't have to worry about the Chiefs winning the Super Bowl. It could, though, be a repeat winner, possibly with the Eagles, or 13 other teams will take a crack at it. Hello, friends. Welcome to our wild card preview show. How's it going, Ed?
What's going on, everybody? Definitely excited for the playoffs to start. In my opinion, this is where players' bones are made, man. You make big plays, win big games in the playoffs, definitely can solidify your legacy and career, in my opinion. So definitely looking forward to getting these games going, man. See what we got going on with them. All right, everybody, let's get started with this opening drive, shall we? Mike McDaniel has been fired by the Dolphins. Lions OC John Morton has been fired after one season. The Falcons and Kirk, his contract. Bengals cornerback Cam Taylor-Britt was sentenced to 5 days of jail time for a driving incident. The Bucks have fired OC Josh Grizzard, special teams coordinator Thomas McGaughey, and 3 other assistant coaches. Matt Ryan is in the running for the Falcons' new president of football role. Commanders cornerback Marshawn Lattimore was arrested in Cleveland on a possible charge of carrying a concealed weapon. Dolphins are reportedly set to hire John Eric Sullivan as their new GM. He served as the Packers VP of player personnel since 2022. And Todd Monken says he didn't coach Lamar Jackson well enough and didn't have a good enough relationship as he could have with the quarterback. That's great to hear. Brandon, you got any thoughts on that?
Yeah, that Todd Monken interview definitely makes sense. I would even more so be surprised if he didn't have a great relationship with Derrick Henry either, because it seemed like times, as I've mentioned, and you talked about too, we get on those early run success in these games, and third and fourth quarter, you got the finisher, probably the best finisher in the league, maybe Christian McCaffrey right there with him, and Derrick Henry 22 is on the sideline. A lot of times with the helmet off. So we didn't know what was going on. Offense was great in 23 and 24 when he came from Georgia, set records. Honestly, he helped take Lamar to another level, in my opinion, in the passing standpoint. His best couple seasons since 2019. But yeah, hopefully he's not back as offense coordinator, and I will not miss him either, at least at this rate, based off of 2025. Unless the offense takes a huge step back, I will not miss him. What was another point I wanted to talk about? Oh, Mike McDaniel. He has now been elevated to my number 3 pick for our head coach vacancy in Baltimore, behind Brian Flores and Chris Shula, the Rams defensive coordinator. I was critical of Mike during some of the time in Miami, but I do think that he left on good terms, honestly. I know they had a bad season, but they did go on a streak to win this to end the season, especially after they fired their general manager. But it kind of makes sense for them to get rid of him. If you're bringing in a new general manager, that guy is probably going to want to hire their own head coach. And one quick point, I owe Raiders fans an apology, because last year when Antonio Pierce got fired, I did mention that it was like, probably it seemed like it was race related from the outside looking in, but then they hired Pete Carroll and he was gone after a year. So now I realize, and I should have thought about this before, that you can just go to the Raiders and legit get a max contract for a coaching position. And I mean max, I mean making millions, because those guys make good money, and be out in a year and still get paid for years to come. So if I was a coaching candidate, or if I wanted to get into coaching, I'd be trying to do everything I could to go be part of that Raiders organization. So yeah, my apologies to Raiders fans, Raiders Nation, the Davis family, for calling y'all out for possibly being racist when y'all just purely cannot win, like Al Davis really wanted y'all to do.
Oh boy.
Any thoughts for you in the opening drive?
Yeah, you talk about Mike McDaniel being your third choice in line for your head coach. I want him as my as our offensive
Yeah.
coordinator for the Commanders. So hopefully, if y'all don't interview him or he doesn't get taken up, hopefully he can come back in Dan Quinn's coaching tree, because he was with Dan Quinn in 2016
Yep.
as a assistant when he was still with when Dan Quinn was still with the Falcons. So I mean, they got some rapport. Hopefully, we can make something happen. He become the OC, and I'm hoping Raheem Morris can become our defensive coordinator. I know we interviewed the Raiders' current DC. I think he has some ties with Dan Quinn. But I would love to see Raheem Morris in DC as our DC. That's all I got.
Mike McDaniel definitely a hot commodity right now for the offensive coordinators. Vacancies around the league, and again, possibly some head coaches as well. So that'll definitely be something to watch. Okay, Rams at Panthers. Part 3 will open wild card weekend from Bank of America Stadium on Saturday. Advantage for me, in my opinion, Los Angeles Rams. These two teams played during the regular season, y'all. If y'all forgot, a red hot Rams team went into Carolina, walked out with an L. Stats on both sides are kind of similar, but the glaring difference was the turnover battle. Carolina forced 3, Los Angeles Ram turnovers. Matthew Stafford, our likely MVP, had a role in all 3 of them. He had 1 fumble and 2 interceptions. I just don't honestly see that happening again. Stafford's got to make smarter decisions with the football, got to protect the ball, but I think this Rams run defense will help him as well by being committed to stopping that Carolina rushing attack. Look to hear Nate Landman's name a lot. He's a linebacker. He's one of those linebackers we faced this year. I think it was week 6, and he was making plays all over us. And I found out who he was very quick. Going along with some of the other playmakers y'all know about a little bit more. Brandon Fisk, Kobe Turner, Jared Verse, Byron Young. Landman, though, is the man that can go sideline to sideline, while those big guys up on the defensive line can clog up those run lanes in between the tackles. At the same time, though, I think Carolina, they'll want to have a good mix of run and pass, because everyone's going to expect them to kind of stick to that run game, what they do best, gaining yards with Rico Dotto and Chuba Hubbard. So I think this could open up a play action game a little bit more for them, create some mismatches for guys like McMillan, Xavier Legette on the outside. But all in all, I like the Rams, and I think that they will take this game very soundly. They were my NFC Super Bowl favorites heading into the season, so I'm going to stick with them in this one. But Ed, your thoughts?
Yeah, this is the highest point spread of all the games. Definitely agree with you. I think the Rams should win this one. First time the Panthers back in the playoffs since 2017. I was in my 20s back then. That was a long time ago. I think Cam Newton was head of the Panthers at that time. You talked about the Rams playmakers on the defensive side of the ball. Another guy I'm going to be looking at too for the Rams is their safety, Quentin Lake. They just restructured or re-signed him to a 3-year deal. And I think he'll be back this game. I know he was on injury reserve, but he might be back to playing in the playoffs too. So that's another defensive weapon that the Rams will have. You mentioned those turnovers that Matt Stafford had in the last game. I think he threw a pick 6 in that game as well. I know he definitely wants to get back and make up for that bad performance against the Panthers when they were in Carolina too. This will be another game in Carolina. You mentioned that and you always talk about this, how, you have to travel across country can definitely have an effect. Hopefully the Rams are better prepared for this time. Maybe the weather is a little better. I think it was a little rainy up there the last time they played. So better weather conditions and maybe them being more acclimated to traveling this time around could have a better outcome for the Rams. But just for the Panthers, man, is this hard? They're so inconsistent. I've been talking about it all year, having them in my damn parlays. But one week I pick against them, they lose. Next week I pick against them, they win. Things like that, man. It's hard to trust this team. And now you're getting to the playoffs where you're only going to be playing good teams. So, I think the Rams will definitely win this one. I think they'll cover the point spread too. I think they'll win this game by multiple touchdowns. I can see them just getting out on the Panthers early and, I honestly think this game might be over before halftime. But like I said, these damn Panthers, man, they gonna fuck around and make it a game and make me look like a clown once again. But I'm gonna still go with the Rams in this one. So yeah, give me the Rams covering the spread too.
We've got a third test of the oldest rivalry in the National Football League, Packers and Bears from Soldier Field Saturday night, Ed.
This is one of those games I've been going back and forth on, man. I really leaning towards the Packers in this one, but division rival. It's in Soldier Field, as you just mentioned. Um, the Packers have lost their last four. I mean, even though Jordan Love hasn't been playing those games, Micah Parsons is out now, best defensive player. But for some reason, I'm still leaning towards the Packers. I think it's just Jordan Love coming back. I do like how they picked up Trevon Diggs. I think that will help their defense for the Packers a lot. And for some reason, I'm just still leaning towards the Packers. I don't know what it is. I guess it's just a gut feeling. So I'm going with the Packers in this one, man. I think the Bears definitely that loss to the Lions, even though it was regular season, that they were already locked into the playoffs. Just for some reason, because they wanted to win that game, the Lions won that game. For some reason, that left a little effect on me, and it was made me think. I don't know, man. The Bears, man. Maybe it's just the inconsistency. Maybe I'm biased, even though both of these teams beat us. The Packers whooped our ass, but the way we lost, my Commanders, when we lost to the Bears, a damn Jaden fumbling the ball and things like that, just still got a bad taste in my mouth about that. So maybe I'm being biased right now and leaning towards the Packers, but for some reason, man, I just think it's going to be the Packers. Also that 49ers game against the Bears. A lot of people talk about the Bears, lead the league in turnovers. They got so many interceptions, 23 interceptions, blah blah blah. Man, Brock Purdy and those boys, they ran up and down the field, and y'all George Kittle, not even George Kittle, but Jake Tonges, Christian McCaffrey, all those guys. Josh Jacobs, he's going to be my key, honestly. He's been banged up a lot. I feel like they low-key put him on a pinch count. They haven't said they have, but Emmanuel Wilson, their other running back for the Packers, has played a lot more. I feel like they're trying to rest Josh Jacobs as much as they can while also keeping him, loose in these games. So I think we'll see a little bit more as Josh Jacobs. I think Jordan Love, Matthew Golden, the rookie wide receiver, I'm going to hopefully hear his name. They got Jaden Reed back, Christian Watson. All three of those guys are definitely going to hear their names of. I didn't even mention Romeo Dobbs. He makes big plays, but I'm definitely looking to hear Jaden Reed, Matthew Golden, Christian Watson's name a lot in this game. So yeah, give me the Packers. It's probably a biased pick, but yeah, I'm taking the Packers, Brandon. What about you?
So if this game is anything like the two regular season contests, we're in for a treat for sure. I think Ben Johnson's going to try to play it smart, stick to the run. It's been the main reason why they've won so many games. It's the main reason why they won the NFC North in the end. Plus, this is Caleb's first playoff game. That could always be a hit or miss for those young quarterbacks. But with an inconsistent passing attack like they've had all season, and I know I think, set the Bears passing record for a single season this year. It's still been kind of inconsistent. I lean towards a miss all in all. But key to victory for Chicago, of course, run the ball, second ranked rushing attack, and those turnovers, like you mentioned, best in the NFL, tops in the NFL in that category. Green Bay, though, in my opinion, they got to push the ball downfield. None of their wide receivers are among the best, you could say, in the league, but they have a knack for the end zone. Defensively, Green Bay got to make plays on first and second down, keep Caleb in this Chicago Bear offense on third and long. Behind the chains, you definitely want to make those plays behind the sticks for sure. X factor for Green Bay, Keyshawn Nixon. We heard his name both in big situations in both of those first games. First game, he had the game sealing interception in the end zone. And then the second game, he got beat in overtime on the final play by DJ Moore. So if he can make a big play or two, it'll go a long way for who wins this game. I am, though, leaning towards Chicago. I have reserves on Green Bay just like you do for Chicago. I know that Michael Parsons, loss is huge. We never know what we're going to get from Jordan Love. I love the man. I have his jersey and everything, but we just never know what we're going to get from him. So that also plays a factor as well. But again, for the reasons I said earlier, Chicago, they run the ball very well and they create turnovers as well. Those are two recipes to success in the playoffs. They always say have a good run game and a good defense in the playoffs. And that's what the Chicago Bears possess. So I would love to see the Packers beat them because I know that as if Chicago's playoff run goes on, even if they make it to the NFC Championship game or something, you're going to continue to hear about Ben Johnson and Caleb Williams. Like he did turn around the franchise as far as from years past to this year, but we're going to continue to hear about that the entire off season. They're going to continue to hype them up, and I really don't feel like hearing about it. So yeah, I'm going with the Bears, but I'd love to see the Packers win for sure.
All right, everybody. Let's go over to the AFC side of things. We got the Bills taking on the Jaguars Sunday game. Brandon, what are your thoughts on this one?
My mind tells me go with Jacksonville because outside of Josh Allen and James Cook, I think Jacksonville has the better roster. But I'm honestly not sure how this game could go because of those two guys I just mentioned. So you really break these two teams down. There's a lot of good on both sides. Josh Allen can make any throw, especially when he's running to that right side. Something about him scrambling to the right. He can just hit a 60-yard bomb downfield. Plus, he's elusive with his legs, especially in the red area. Has I think double-digit rushing touchdowns if I'm not mistaken this season, and typically always has a high amount of rushing touchdowns. James Cook, he's the league's leading rusher. Trevor Lawrence, he's been one of the hottest quarterbacks in football, especially during the second half of the season. And then Jacksonville defense is second best in turnovers forced. They were first within like the first 6 weeks of the season. Then along came Chicago just on a run. Then though I look at special teams, Cam Little, he can kick it from anywhere on the field, so that's an advantage as well, a key weapon for them if they get stopped, on those drives when they're in Buffalo territory. The coaches, Sean McDermott, he's a veteran. Liam Cohn, he is a rookie head coach, but he's coaching like he's been doing it over 10 years, honestly. I mean, he's probably a coach of the year candidate as well. I do, though, all in all, just think this banged up Buffalo defense will give up several plays, honestly, especially in the first half to overcome. I'm going to go with Jacksonville, but I do believe that Josh Allen and James Cook, of course, will have big games and they'll show up big time in this one. So yeah, give me Jacksonville at home. Ed, how you feeling though?
I'm just like you. I'm going with Jacksonville as well, man. I was going back and forth for this game too, but then I was looking at previews, I was looking at stats and everything like that, and I just something about Jacksonville, Trevor Lawrence, Liam Cohen seems to have unlocked him. He's also not just throwing the ball, but he's running the ball too. I know the Bills, they can get, especially when it gets late in games, their defense can start to like tighten up and lock people down. It's going to be hard to do that against a mobile quarterback, dual threat type of quarterback. I could definitely see when a game might get a little tight, and the Bills secondary in particular is getting after those wide receivers, locking them up. That's where Trevor Lawrence makes a play where he rushes for 20 yards on a key situation, could be third and medium or something like that. So I can definitely see that happening. Also, you talk about James Cook, Travis Etienne for the Jaguars. He's a pretty decent back too. And ever since the Jaguars got Jacoby Myers, it's opening up for all those other receivers, Parker Washington, Brian Thomas as well. And I also like the tight end, they got Brenton Strange. Now, the Jaguars, they definitely need, like you mentioned, James Cook, leading rusher, as you talked about. They definitely need to get after him, but they also need to make sure they keep an eye on these tight ends, Dawson Knox, Dalton Kincaid, that combination. I think they got like 9 touchdowns between each other. And another thing that you mentioned, how Josh Allen scrambles out to one of the sides of the ball, the right side, and launches the ball downfield. They need to make sure they contain him. That's one thing I'm kind of concerned about with the Jaguars. They don't really have too many sacks as far as the team, but they can get after the quarterback pressure. And so Josh Allen on the Bills side, Josh Hines Allen on the Jaguars side. I'm looking at him. I'm looking at the defender Trayvon Walker. He's a former first round. I think he was like the first overall pick a couple years ago, or top 3, something like that. I need to see that top 3 type of talent come out. And like I said, this is where players can make their bones, man. So I'm looking for a guy to make a play on the defensive side of the ball turn Josh Allen over once or twice. And like you said, I really like that point you mentioned with the special teams and Cam Little. Take the points if you can. If it's 4th and 6 or something, just kick the field goal, man. Take the points. It's going to add up and end. Trust me. Just take the damn points. All right. So I agree with you, Brandon. I'm going with the Jaguars in this game as well. Definitely looking forward to that one though. All right, y'all. We got an NFC matchup. 49ers taking on the Eagles. This game, man, the Niners are traveling across the country. I think the weather is going to be a little shitty in Philadelphia. I almost went in on that city. No Fred Warner. The 49ers got a bunch of injuries on the defensive side of the ball, man. They got a bunch of injuries. And I thought, I was looking more and more into that Seahawks game they lost at the end of the season, 13-3, just thinking, hey, man, you know what? That really doesn't matter. I don't know. But now I'm looking more into it. It could be something behind that because going into that game, they were playing it really good. The offense looked really, really good. And then they came up against the Seahawks defense, who's probably arguably the best in the league, and they only put up 3 points. Christian McCaffrey didn't do anything out there. So I'm wondering, man. And then Trent Williams, is he going to play? He's dealt with I think it's a hamstring injury the last couple of games. Is he going to play? If he's not out there, that's a huge loss to the offensive line. One of the damn best offensive linemen in the NFL. I don't know why the hell the damn Commanders gave up on him and let him go, damn clowns. So, yeah, man, I'm wondering what the 49ers are going to do to stop or to just get some offense going because this Eagles defense, they got some playmakers out there. Jalen Carter, a defensive lineman, he's a bad boy. I talk about him bullying people all the time. We got to figure it out, and I'm wondering what they're going to do. And then I mentioned the defense and the injuries they got out there. Saquon Barkley, A.J. Brown, Devonta Smith. I talk about them a lot. Dallas Goedert. This guy, Jahad Dotson, a former Washington player. All these guys can make plays. And then Jalen Hurts, too. They can definitely make plays out there. So I'm wondering how the 49ers defense is going to hold up against the Eagles offense that kind of sputters along, but when they can hit, they definitely can hit and knock the ball out of the park. So I'm wondering how that's going to go. All in all, that being still said, though, this could be I'm going with the 49ers, man. I think Kyle Shanahan and Brock Purdy are going to find a way, going to scheme up some good running plays. Christian McCaffrey is going to put his Superman cape on and, dual threat, running the ball and receiving the ball. They're going to have a matchup problem. One of them, they're going to pick on one of these linebackers. Christian McCaffrey going to run a sluggo route. Brock Purdy going to hit him in stride and going to get the things rolling, man. Then George Kittle, if he's able to play, not injured or anything like that, he's going to make his plays out there too. I'm going with the damn 49ers, man. Let's beat these Eagles. Cry, Eagles, cry. Give me the 49ers in this one in the upset. I want to see the camera panning to the Eagles crowd, fans crying, fans looking stunned, fans looking speechless. That's what I'm hoping to see out there, and I'm hoping the 49ers can get it done. So I'm going with the 49ers in this one, Brandon. How about you?
So we've got an underperforming 49er defense that cannot create sacks. And we got an underperforming Eagles offense that doesn't really have a true identity, in my opinion. So which one do I trust more in that category? I guess Philly a little bit more because, as you said, they can strike when they can, when they do. I think Jalen Hurts will at least have some time back there to get the ball to A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, Goddard, and his guys before that San Fran pass rush gets to him. On the other side of things, Philly's defense, they're capable, in my opinion, of limiting Christian McCaffrey, and that's a key victory for the Birds. Reed Blankenship, N'Kobe Dean, Zach Bond, Hunt, Jahad Campbell when he's out there. I know he's not necessarily a starter, but he does rotate in there every now and then. All those guys are athletic enough to stick with CMC in that passing game, but the key will not be allow him to get open in those plays where nobody else finds open space and the pocket collapses. And again, I talked about it a couple times, especially over the last couple of weeks. He's out in the flat, and once he gets the ball in his hands, bam, downfield, 20-yard gain, 30-yard gain, something like that. 9 times out of 10, Purdy's going to be looking for CMC at that point. Back to Philly. best slot corner in football, in my opinion. Mr. DeJean, 33, number 33, Cooper, whatever you want to call him. Purdy's got to know where he's at on every play, and I would not suggest throwing the football in his direction. May not have a lot of interceptions this year, but he could definitely make plays and keep good guard on his guy, whoever he's covering there. But I do feel like Philly will be able to limit that San Francisco running game. The defensive line and linebackers are just pretty good at stopping the run. What do I not feel good about, though? These kickers. Jake Elliott, um, he's been missing critical kicks all this season, last season as well. I know the playoff stretch, he definitely had some missed kicks. Eddie Pinero, he's been one of the more accurate kickers in football this year from the field goal standpoint. You know, they had some issues out there early on in the season, but he's also missed 4 extra points. So that could also factor into it, especially if it's close. Plus, San Fran, they got to be alert for Jalen Carter blocking kicks. I believe he has two. I think he had one just a couple weeks ago as well. So it's definitely something to watch as well in this game. Much as I want to go in there, much as I want to see San Fran go far and possibly win a Super Bowl for guys like CMC, Kittle, Trent Williams, the veterans, Fred Warner. I know he's banged up, won't be playing, obviously. I just think Philly is going to take this one at home. So I'm going to go with the Eagles there at the link.
Nah.
I'm sorry. Okay, everyone. This episode is brought to you by Premium, a CBD health and wellness company. Check out their line of CBD infused products, which are a perfect after workout refill for athletes, a pain reliever for weekend warriors, and even a natural sports drink for us armchair quarterbacks. Their featured product is CBD infused honey, which is a personal favorite of mine, as well as tinctures in mint and natural flavors. They are veteran, women, and minority owned, so come get some of this sweet temptation and taste the premium difference. Use code B&E for 15% off your order. Their website is www.premium.com. Again, that's www.premium.com. And now back to our show.
All right, everybody. We got the Chargers traveling across the country to take on the Patriots. Patriots, one of the hottest teams in the league right now, winning 13 of the last 14 games. Drake May, looking like the franchise quarterback of the present and future for the Patriots. So I'm wondering how this game will go, man. Justin Herbert, playoff comes when he does get to the playoffs. He's like the Panthers. I'll talk about inconsistency, lights on, lights off. He's a true key for me. What is he going to do out there? I think he can lean on him running the ball too. If it's not there, just run the ball, use your legs. Healthy Mari Hampton out there too. They got Kamani Vidal. He's been playing in Mari Hampton's absence. So those two guys, those two backs, lean on them if needed. He also said, I think it was this week, that his hand feels as good as it has before, it's got banged up. So hopefully he's 100% healthy. He can hit Lad McConkey. He can hit Keenan Allen, Quentin Johnston. He has 8 touchdowns on a year. And then also their rookie tight end, Amari Gatson. I want to see all 4 of these guys make some plays out there. On the defensive side of the ball, if you guys remember, we've been talking about earlier in the year, Drake made a number of sacks he was taking. That's one of the things I'm going to be looking for in this game. Chargers not like necessarily like 50 sacks, something like that. They don't have a lot of sacks, but I'm looking for Khalil Mack, and I'm also looking for Tui Polatu. He has 13 sacks on a year. So I'm definitely going to see how they can affect Drake May, who's also a dual threat type of quarterback. He can definitely get out in the pocket and make plays happen. I think he had like 2 rushing touchdowns, maybe more, against the Bills the last time I played them. So I wonder how that's going to go. Another key I'm looking at for the Chargers is their run defense, because the Patriots running attack, Trevion Henderson, a rookie running back, and Ramondre Stevenson, both those guys combined were definitely doing damage out there. So I'm wanting to see if they're able to shut down the Patriots run game at all. I think Chargers are middle of the pack. They're not like necessarily super huge run stoppers. So that's another thing I'm going to be looking for. On the Patriots side of the ball, man, like I said, Drake May, this offense, man, not just Drake May, but, Stephon Diggs, over 1,000 yards again on the year. You just got it. Keyshawn Boot, the tight ends, they got Hunter Henry. They got playmakers. They might not necessarily have the biggest name and the biggest stats, But you see in games throughout the year, one guy will have a big game, and next game another guy will have a big game. So I can definitely see that happening where it's a type of by committee type of game, not just one guy dominate the ball. Even though I think Stephon Diggs is definitely capable of doing that, I don't think it'll be that case. I think Drake May is going to be able to spread the ball out, get everybody involved, and we'll see how things go. But right now, I'm leaning towards the Chargers in this one. This is a close one for me because it's hard to trust Justin Herbert. I thought, a couple years ago he was going to get far in the playoffs, and I think they lost the first round to like the Texans or somebody. I think that was like 2 years ago. Might have been Stroud's rookie season. But it's hard to trust Justin Herbert. But I just think, right now the Patriots are still too young. This is their first taste of playoff football, especially for Drake May, and I'm leaning towards the Chargers in this one. At the same time, I'll talk about the sacks of Drake May. Justin Herbert, I think he's been sacked a lot in this league. So this year, and I'm looking at guys like Harold Landry. He came over from Tennessee with Vabral. So keep him under control as far as don't let Harold Landry ruin the game plan, be a game wrecker. And I think the Chargers should come out of New England with a win. So I'm going to lean towards the Chargers and another upset for me. Brandon, how about you?
Okay, so this game might very well be the best defensive game of the weekend. New England enters with the fourth defense in points per game allowed. Los Angeles with ninth at 20 per game on average. So I think both of these quarterbacks and offenses could possibly move the ball a lot between the 20s, but struggle down in the red area. Derwin James, number 3, man, safety for the Chargers, very well. One of the best safeties that Drake May will have to face this season so far to this point. He's had Antoine Winfield Jr., he's had Kyle Hamilton, but I anticipate Drake May making at least one mistake in James's favor because Darren, as we know, he could play the run, he could play the pass, he could line up at linebacker, his natural safety position, of course. Just a complete weapon for this Jesse Minter defense for sure. Speaking of Jesse Minter, he's also high on my Ravens coaching list as well. Potential coaches, defense coordinator out there of the Chargers. But yeah, this will be a long night, in my opinion, for Justin Herbert and his offensive line. They've been banged up all season. I think they've had like 21 or more, if I'm not mistaken, different combinations up front there with guys in and out the lineup, healthy, going down, all that kind of stuff. Those type of things get exposed in the playoffs. Harold Landry, Robert Spillane, I think he's going to be back in this one. Those guys are going to be hungry, and they want to prove that New England's for real on the big stage here. So Justin Herbert may become the victim of that. Will the Chargers avoid their second straight first-round exit? I think so. I don't think so. I think they will get eliminated in this one. Excuse me. I've been doubting New England all year long. But I think this Patriots defense will come to play. I think Drake May will hit a couple of those deep passes that he's known for this season, that he's been, helping them get out in front of these teams, and that'll be enough to edge out a win in this one. I've got New England at home. Give me the Patriots. Yeah, no, I'd love to see the Chargers win, but I think I'm going to go. I think the Patriots are going to win, unfortunately. All right. Wild card weekend will wrap up Monday night in Steel City. Ed, Texans at Steelers for a shot at the divisional round.
Monday night game, man. Texans going into Pittsburgh. Let's see if Tomlin and they got any more of that holy water on the field. They definitely gonna need it. The Texans defense coming to town, man. Aaron Rodgers, he was able to scramble a little bit against the Ravens. I don't think he'll have any of that type of success. He's gonna have to do what he did against the Browns when they were trying to avoid getting that sack record on Myles Garrett. Get the ball out of his hands quick, fast, and in a hurry, because them boys are going to be after you all night. Will Anderson, all those guys, man. And then it's good they got DK Metcalf back, because you talk about those Texans cornerbacks in their secondary a lot. They're definitely going to need another weapon out there. I think they're going to be, covering those guys like a blanket. So I'm wondering what the Steelers are going to do in the offense to counteract this crazy Texans defense, man. I really do. Aaron Rodgers is going to have a vintage type performance, in my opinion, to have a chance to win this game. But on the same side, the Texans offense, it's been so like hit or miss, man, so inconsistent. I really think if they can run the ball on the Steelers, they have a really good chance. I like, my guy Nico Collins. He's a stud. I mean, he can get things done. But CJ Stroud sometimes, man, is like he sees one thing and the ball does another thing. I don't know. He'll throw the ball and it gets picked off and like, why the hell did you make that throw? And then sometimes it's like you can see, I wish he would just take off and run a little bit more. But I know ever since that concussion he had where he got knocked out the game, I don't blame him for like trying to take as less hits as possible. But I definitely think in these type of games, win or go home type of situation, if it's not there, run the ball, man. Just get down quick enough, man, and you should be all right. With all that being said, though, I'm leaning towards the Texans in this one, but it's hard, man. Like Mike Tomlin, man, and those Steelers, he somehow, some way, they find a way to win games. I mean, I ain't gonna bring up last week, but I mean, shit just happens,
Yeah.
especially when they are home too. I mean, I could definitely have a situation where shit just happens. They have a momentum change in play. Maybe T.J. Watt gets involved, has a play where he forces a fumble or gets an interception, and momentum flips, and then everything goes in the Steelers' favor. I can see something like that happening, but I just think this Texans defense is going to just completely eliminate anything the Steelers want to do. But as I say that, like I said, Mike Tomlin and your boy, what was it, Arthur Smith, he might have something up their sleeve where they can get a play or two off, where they can get some points on the board and have enough. I think this might be a low-scoring game, man, like 13-10 or 7-14, something like that. I don't know, but I have a feeling the defenses in both of these teams are going to make some plays. But I think the Texans defense is going to make more plays. And CJ Stroud, younger guy, got some experience in the playoffs too, is going to make some things happen. And I feel like Woody Marks and crew, hopefully Nick Chubb is playing. They definitely going to, I'm not saying definitely, I don't mean to say that, but I think they can run the ball a little bit more effectively than the Steelers will. So give me the Texans in this one. Brandon, how you see this one going?
I'm picking Houston, not because the Steelers swept my Ravens and not because they're my rival, one of our top rivals in the league, but because Houston is the better team, in my opinion. The defensive unit is not about to let this Steelers offense run on them, and it won't be much easier through the air either, honestly. Yes, DK Metcalf's going to be back for this one, coming off a suspension. Stingley will likely have that assignment most of the night, but let's say Stingley struggles, gives up a big play or two. They could still put Lassiter and Petrie on him and still feel confident that those guys can do enough to hold him, enough intact to not be able to continue those drives down the field. Those guys, all three of them, Stingley, Lassiter, and Petrie, they can match up with some of the top receivers in the league as well. CJ Stroud in that offensive line, they got to be aware for number 90, TJ Watt. You mentioned him. He missed a few games because of that lung issue, had surgery, came back, looked like the future Hall of Famer that he was or that he is going to be. Their offensive line has improved this season in Houston, but Watt is a matchup nightmare. They got to know where he's at all times and got to be able to execute in their game plan of blocking that guy and keeping him away from CJ Stroud. But I think Houston will win this game soundly. But they must have a lead late in the third quarter and keep the pedal to the metal, honestly, because the Steelers can make that one play and their fans get back into it and they'll get back into the game as well. Don't want to let them back in the game like my Ravens did last week. You mentioned it. You wasn't going to say it all the way. I will. So, yeah. This will be the first time in about 4 years that Houston won't play that early Saturday wildcard game. I don't think it'll matter much. I'm going with Houston in this one. But speaking of the Steelers, I wasn't going to give this any airtime, but we had a fan comment on our Facebook post about Mike Tomlin. First, he said that I believe he's a Steelers fan. I can't tell. First, he basically said that Tomlin got hired because he was black. And I guess he said that the reason why I like Mike Tomlin is because he's black. And then he mentioned that what was the reason why he got hired is because of the Rooney Rule. Last time I checked, Mike Tomlin and Bill Cowher, as I told him, have the same Super Bowl record. They're 1-1. They both won one and they both lost one. Last time I checked, and I could be mistaken, but I'm pretty sure that's accurate because being in the division, I've known that they've been to the Super Bowl, especially some years ago, quite frequently. Secondly, the Rooney Rule means you have to interview a minority coach or a black coach. It does not mean you have to hire them. So clearly, he was the best option or the best one that they liked at that time. And you can't sit back and say he only got the job because he's black. This is the same ownership that hired Bill Cowher years ago. This is the same ownership group, as far as I know, that hired Chuck Noll back in the 70s. Two Caucasian coaches, two white coaches. So for him to sit back and say that is, to me, like I said on Facebook, sound like a complete idiot, complete fool out there. But to each is their own. To me, I don't think he knew what the hell he was talking about. I think he was just a fed up fan of seeing his team consistently lose in the playoffs, which I can understand that, and or winning during the regular season, but not enough to get into the playoffs. At the end of the day, there's two dynasties that have been active the last 20 some years, and that's the Patriots and the Steelers. I mean, the Patriots and the uh, Chiefs. And outside of them, yes, Baltimore's won. Well, Pittsburgh has won recently, and then it's pretty much been all NFC teams outside of that. So you're not the only team that's not going to Super Bowls and winning. So, like I told him, you got a problem with Mike Tomlin. Why don't you go buy the franchise so you can make the decisions yourself? Why don't you apply to be apply to be their coach or GM if one of those positions come up? Or otherwise, just shut the hell up. Because to me, you don't make any sense. I don't know if you got any comments on him, but that's all the energy I'm gonna give him.
I would just say I would love to see what Bill Cowher does with Kenny Pickett, Mason Rudolph, and those type of quarterbacks as his quarterback. Because we all know, man, if you don't have the right quarterback, you ain't gonna win the games that when it matters. So all this stuff we're talking about, Mike Tomlin, blah 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 blah. Oh, he gets to the playoffs, but he doesn't win. Look at the quarterbacks he's had after Ben Roethlisberger. It's kind of hard to win if you don't got a good quarterback. That's all I'm gonna say about that, honestly. All right, everybody. It's time for our parlays of the week. I'm going to go with the Rams over the Panthers. I'm going with the Texans over the Steelers. And I want to go with the those are only two I'm really confident about, honestly. Fuck it. Give me the Texans, give me the Chargers, give me the Rams, and give me the Packers. All right, so Rams, Packers, Chargers, and Texans is my parlay of the week. Brian, what say you?
Obviously, it's slim pickings this week with only 6 games. But I'm going to go Houston over Pittsburgh, and I guess the Bears over the Packers. But yeah, I do like the Rams.
I'm about to say,
I do like the Rams over. Yeah, I like the Rams over the Panthers too, but that also scares me a little bit too because they did go in there and lose last time. But I think it'll be a sound win for them. Los Angeles over Carolina.
And let me say this: if the Panthers somehow fuck around and win this game, I'm flying to Carolina and raising hell. They're gonna whoop my ass all the way back to California, but I'm gonna fly to Carolina and raise some hell because I'm gonna be so goddamn mad that these clowns made me look like a complete clown once again, having egg all over my damn face. I'm gonna be mad as hell. So Rams, please beat the Panthers. I got nothing against Carolina. I like Bryce Young. I think Dave Canales has done a hell of a job out there, but God damn it. Can I get it right with y'all for once? I mean, just for once. That's all I want. Lord have mercy. All right, everybody. That's going to do it for another episode of Breaking the Internet Podcast. Like we said, playoff football. In my opinion, this is where players may get their bones made, man. Legacies shattered or solidified, things like that. So we'll see what's going to happen out there. But as always, thanks for watching us, taking time out of y'all day. Look for us on YouTube, Breaking the Internet Podcast, B&E Podcast. Like, comment, subscribe, share the videos. Follow us on Twitter or X, Podcast B&E, and look for us on Instagram as well, B&E Podcast. And we will see y'all next time. Peace.